the HODs, the teaching faculty, the non-teaching faculty, and all my dear students to this program. Yeah, that's good. A little more louder would be still fine. Thank you very much. To begin with, let me introduce both the speakers to you, and then we can begin with the session. So we have with us SuvarnaGaurahari. He is the director of ISKCON Youth Forum, IYF, South Bangalore. He is a spiritual mentor at ISKCON South Bangalore. He has done his BE in Electronics and Communication Engineering from RV College of Engineering, Bangalore. He has also worked with IBM for 4 years as Associate Software Engineer. And to talk about his spiritual journey, he was always interested in reading and learning spiritual books from a very young age. He has studied Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavata Purana very systematically. He is living a life of monk since past 10 years at ISKCON Ashram. He has given helpful seminars in various colleges like RVCE, NIT Tirchi, NITK Suratkal, PICT Pune, and many others. He also visits schools and colleges in Bangalore, Mysore, Mangalore, Puttur, etc. for doing value-based education programs on Bhagavad Gita. Sir, it's really a pleasure to hear you today, and we are waiting to hear you. Thank you for gracing the occasion. Now, along with that, we have another speaker, Mr. Ganesh Pai. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Ganesh Pai to all of you. He is an innovation leader in engineering R&D industry. He has 20 plus years of versatile experience in various domains of automobile research and development. He is an inventor. He has filed multiple patents in design and engineering of automotive systems. He is a certified innovation coach and design thinking expert. He is a mentor of change, and he has lived for more than 4 years in Germany and Japan, working on various automobile innovation.
Let us see if it's working or not. It's working. All of you had great breakfast?
No, sir.
No? How many of you had heavy breakfast? Only one person. Wow. How many of you had light breakfast? Okay. And how many of you had moderate breakfast? Okay. One person moderate, one person heavy. All of you have light breakfast. Good. That you're not sleeping in the session now. That's a good thing, right? Okay. So let's start with the topic. Let's get ready, right? What are we here for? Let's understand what are we here for. May I ask in audience, since we are less in number, we can even speak here itself, right? So, may I ask someone, what are we here for? You can scream, it's okay. Attendance, very nice, yeah. I was about to get the same as big round of applause. It's not working.
What's Temples, one more.
Okay. So an additional mic for your attendance here. Okay, beyond attendance, let's understand, is there something that you can take away from this session today? Right? Let's assume that you're here for attendance and you're spending 2 hours of your life here. Is there something, one thing that you can take away from this session today? Shall we try that? May I request all of you to just stand? Okay, great. Thanks for standing. Okay, let me give you few instructions, 3 or 4 points, what you need to do. Okay? First step, you're going to just turn to either of your sides. Maybe you have your own friend in the next seat, or maybe someone who is in front of you or so. Find a person whom you don't know, if that's the case. Okay? If you're surrounded by your friends, great. That's great. Nothing can be done around it. But if not, find a person whom you don't know. Okay? And you have to ask his name, his or her name. Ask which branch do they come from. I believe all of you are from mixed, different branches, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes, good. Okay. Ask, okay, let me finish the instructions, then you can start talking, okay? So you have to ask the name of the person, ask which branch does he come or does she come from, and also tell them that I have one question in my mind when it comes to human values. I want an answer for that. What is that question that I'm going to get the answer for today? Let me repeat that again. You have one question on top of your mind on human values. What is that question for which I'm going to go away with the answer after this session? I want you to share this in next 30 seconds, and your time starts now. Okay, start talking, not a problem. Next 30 seconds. You have some question in your mind for sure. One question will be there. You're not only here for attendance, I'm sure about it. Oh, there seems some funny questions also. There's a lot of laughter also here. All of you, please, those who are standing still, please talk to the next person. Now, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Please take your seats. Great. A big round of applause for all of you. Yeah. Good. There was a lot of hustle around. You guys actually tried a lot to trickle your own brain and try to find a question. Even if you didn't have it ready, you tried to find it. You tried to speak it out. Keep that question. We will have those questions answered at the end of the session. We'll have enough time to discuss all those questions at the end of the session. It's not going to be a monologue here. Let me be very clear. 2 hours, you're not going to get a boring session wherein, someone has come or some 2 people have come from ISKCON here talking about something which we don't understand. Let's finish off our attendance requirement, go back home. No. Let's take something from this session. Out of these 2 hours, if you're able to take one value back home, that will be the gain for you. Okay? And I'll try to explain how is it important for us to right now look at these values. Okay? Let's get started. What are human values? We're here for this session, right? What are human values? And why do you even care about it? I just wanted you to think about it, don't have to discuss about it, okay? What are human values? Why do you really care about it? There is a Hitopadesha which says that Ahara Nidra Bhayamaithunancha Samanyametat Pashubhirnaranam Dharmo hi tesham adhiko visheshaha dharmena hina pashubhir samana. It's a Hitopadesha, okay? What does that mean? Let me explain that to you. Ahara, that means whatever you had in the morning, like light breakfast, right? You need that. Every one of us needs some kind of food to sustain. and all the animals also need that. Nidra, that is sleep. We sleep, animals also sleep. Bhaya, that means we also defend ourselves through guns and weapons and all, and animals also defend themselves with their claws and horns and many other things that they have, their power that they have. And also the married life, the love life that we have, that's also part of the cycle for animals. Now this Hitopadesha says, Ahar nidra bhayamaithunancha samanyametat pashubhir naranam. That means it is common between human beings as well as animals. So what's different? What's different with human beings? It says, dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesha. That means there is an element of dharma which is there with human beings, adhiko vishesha. That means that's an additional thing that is there with human beings. Dharmena hina pashubhis samana. If you are not following it, then you are equivalent to an animal. Now, what is dharma? Are we talking about Hindu, Christian, Muslim and all? No. Right? That's not dharma. People have wrongly coined it as dharma. It's not dharma. Dharma is a set of values that we have to follow. A set of guidelines that we have to follow in our life. That we call as dharma. And everyone has a different way of following it. In Sanatana Dharma, the procedures are different, the value system is different. In Muslim religion, the value system is different, the way of following it is different. In Christian religion, it is different. But dharma actually means the value system that you follow. So if you equate all these things, you realize that if you don't have right value system, you don't fit to be a human being. Correct? You can be called an animal. And the whole reason why it is so is that we have some ability which is called jijnasa. How many of you know what is jijnasa? If you have learned Sanskrit sometimes, one person knows. Anyone else who knows jijnasa? Okay, what is jijnasa? Jijnasa is nothing but an ability to ask why. Can a dog ask why? Can a cow ask why? For example, you have a dog at home. You don't feed the dog today. Can the dog come back and talk to you and say, okay, boss, you didn't really feed me today. I was thinking, why did you really not feed me today? I tried analyzing it and then I realized that you didn't feed me because I didn't behave right yesterday. Can it really think like this? No. What can it do? It can only come and bark in front of you that you didn't really feed me. That's it. This ability to ask why is called jijnasa. And that's only there with human beings. And with this privilege, for sure, I think I'll have to just place this a little bit closer. Okay. Yeah, with this comes the Spider-Man. Okay. So what does that mean? With this additional ability that we have, with great power comes the great responsibility as well. So if we have a better power than animals, then we have to also behave in a better way than animals. That's what we call as values. Right? How can we be different than animals today is what we are going to be learning today. Okay, is that fair enough for 2 hours? Is that fair enough for 2 hours to understand how can we be different than animals? Okay? Now, why are we talking about it today? Because our government also realized that over a period of time we have lost it. With NEP 2020, they also realized that we need value system now. Okay? Otherwise, we have been trying, even SuvarnaGaurahari has been trying so many places, going around and telling them we need this. Now somehow government is saying though, that's a really good part today. With NEP, we have all the leaders who come from the academics background as well administrative background are saying that we need these human values. We need to instill these human values in our next generation. If that is not there, then we will lose an advantage of being an Indian. We'll lose an advantage of being an Indian. Okay? There are a lot of values which we can talk about. You can see here consistency, reliability, loyalty, respect, and then there are many things. I would leave that to SuvarnaGaurahari to talk about it. We'll come to that point in terms of what are the specific values that we are going to talk here. On and all, in a nutshell, I'm just trying to tell you that there is an importance of this topic, and the time that you're spending here is going to have a long-lasting impact in your lives for sure. Okay? Now, what are the different values that we talk about? Love, we talk about compassion, we talk about truth, we talk about non-violence, renunciation. How many of you know what is renunciation? Only one person. Renounced, is it? You're already renounced or no? Okay. Okay. What is renunciation? Okay. There is one more person who knows it. Okay. Then service, righteousness, peaceful coexistence, gratitude. How many of you know at least 50% of those values, what these values mean? Just raise your hand. 50% of them. I'm not saying all of them. Wow, all of you know about it. I don't think and both of us have something to do here, but let's try to see how to practice those values. Maybe that can be helpful, right? How to practice that in a real life, that can be useful, right? You know about all these values. I don't have to teach about, or both of us don't have to teach about these values to you. The problem lies in how do we really practice them in the realistic life that we have outside the college, outside our home, outside in the society. Okay? What is the easiest way to learn about these values? What is the easiest way to practice these values? What is the easiest? Indian Vedic culture. It's there in our DNA. If you try to follow something else, it will be like milking. Can actually nurture all the values that we have within us. All these values that you know, they are already there with you. Only thing is that you should know how to really exercise them. Like a leaf should know how to really suck the water from the root, we all should know how to really suck this essence of all our Vedic scriptures and practice in our daily life. Why do we need this? Because these values shape our thinking. These values shape our emotions, the way we react to different situations. These values also reflect into our way of working, way of behaviors, the way we deal with others. Everything gets reflected with these value systems. And finally, whatever results we obtain, the basis for that is these values. Now, does it make sense a little bit more that why do we have to follow these values? Does it make sense a little bit more? Yes or no? Okay, good. A little bit more yes would be better, right? I mean, can you be a little bit more louder? Yes or no? Yes, sir. Okay, good. Okay, let's see how our great leaders have tried following these principles from Vedic system, right? Look at Mahatma Gandhi, who was considered father of nation. He was the reason why we are talking. He is the reason why we are talking today with such kind of freedom, right? He mentioned that when doubts haunt me, when disappointments stare at me in the face, and I see not one ray of hope on the horizon, I turn to Bhagavad Gita. So if you look at the biography of or autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi, you can always see that he has been always referring to Bhagavad Gita, and you can see many pictures wherein he is carrying that. See, all these great leaders understood that all the value system is built from there, and that's where they were able to think beyond certain limits which a normal person could not really think. And that's where they were able to achieve those results. In the last slide you saw, right, the results which were coming on the top, they were able to achieve those results because they were all coming from the value system that they were building from the learnings of Bhagavad Gita, right? Let's look at someone who is not Indian, Albert Einstein for that matter. He said that when I read Bhagavad Gita and reflect about how God created this universe, everything else seems superfluous. Now he said so. He has created a very good, I would say, theory of relativity and atomic energy concepts that we have today, which are useful. On the other side, we are also looking at a scenario wherein we might end up into an atomic war also. I mean, nuclear war also. Something good and something bad. But that person is also saying that God has created this universe. Now, with all these things, the world is realizing it as well. It's not only Indians right now who are following the Vedic tradition. If you look at the news there, Indian culture is the fastest growing culture in Russia. And how many of you recognize this person on the left side? Will Smith, right? You know? So he's a person who actually believes in Bhagavad Gita, and he's vocal about it to the world. That he said, I'm 90% through the Bhagavad Gita, my inner Arjuna is being channeled. So he's in touch with so many gurus from various sects, and he actually practices many principles of Bhagavad Gita. The question is, when all these guys are doing, what are we doing? Are we really following something from our root? We are trying to follow something else, right? Many a times. So it's important for us to set an example, being Indians. I have lived in Japan, I have lived in Germany, and I can share my experience. Whenever I used to go and meet people in Japan, they always used to see us with so much of respect. And they used to say one thing, that our culture has come from you. Japanese is mostly Buddhists, and they say that, Buddha came from India and our culture has come from you and we owe a lot to you. They have a hell lot of respect for Indians. I lived there for more than 3 years, and the kind of respect that I have seen for us is just unimaginable. Similarly, we had like a lot of Bangladeshis, Pakistanis also in Japan, but they never got that respect. They only respected Indians, right? So it's high time that we have to look at what we can do about it, or how can we really imbibe those values from the Indian culture roots. So we should be grateful to our spiritual leaders. In 19th century, Swami Vivekananda went abroad, and he created a big wave of Indian spirituality in the Western world. In the 20th century, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is a founder of ISKCON, he created such a big wave which is still spreading right now in the world, and you can see that he has written more than 80 books that's been translated in more than 80 languages, and people are reading and gaining a lot of insights from it. People are following a lot of value system that is given in his books, right? So we should be grateful to such leaders, and it's also our responsibility right now to see how can we really propagate it in this century, which is 21st century, right? Our responsibility as humans, and specifically as Indians, is how can we really become a Vishwa Guru? What does that mean? We have always been, India has always been in the place of Guru to the world. We have given all this knowledge and literature to the world. We have been the people who have actually transmitted all this knowledge which has come from our ancestors to the world. But somehow we lost it in between because of the British ruling, French ruling, so many things happened. Now, it's time for us to come back and say, how can we really take that place back and be the Vishwa Guru? How can we really teach the world what is the value of human life? What are the value systems that a human being has to follow? For that to happen, first we have to follow, isn't it? Yes or no? If we don't follow, will anyone follow us? right? We have to first follow some value system, and people should look at us and say, I want to follow you, boss. I have seen this even in Germany when I've been there. The moment we start eating only vegetarian food and all, they ask questions. Says, no, why are you eating vegetarian only? Then I have to give them a lot of philosophy. Many times I have got into conversations wherein I have spoken to them for 3-4 hours. Post that, after 2 days, they come back and say, I really appreciate whatever you're doing. And I have seen them turning from non-vegetarian person to a vegan person. I'm not saying what is right or wrong in that. The point here is they are trying to follow Indian values in some or the other way. They are trying to follow Indian principles in some or the other way. So if world is following it, then first we have to follow it, and the next thing that we have to do is we have to teach it to others as well. Okay? Now, I want to ask a question. Do you agree to all these things? Yes or no? Yes. A little bit more bigger yes would be? Yes. Yes. Okay, good. Great. If we don't do this, what will we miss? If we don't have values, what will we miss? If you look at the stats right now, India is estimated to have around 60 to 65 million people with common health or mental health issues, which should not be the case with a country like India, right? In a country where you're teaching human values, where you're teaching yoga, where you're teaching how to live or art of how to live, you shouldn't have 60 to 65 million people suffering with mental health. And worldwide, the estimate is around 300 million. So what's the percentage? If it is out of 300 million, 60 to 65 million in India, what's the percentage? Can anyone do a quick math? 20%? You're all engineers, right? 20 to 25%, right? Correct? So out of the entire world's mental health issues, we have 25% in India. It's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. If we continue this way, and if we don't really focus on our value systems, and if we don't develop it right now, and if we don't help our siblings or maybe our next generation develop it, this number will increase. That's a danger, right? Youth in distress, depression, anxiety levels are increasing, and especially post-COVID, so many things have changed that mental health has become a major concern, even in India now. Year-wise suicide rate reports have increased, have increased right now. If you look at 2020 statistics, it's crossing almost 1,53,000. All these things are actually alarming numbers for all of us. And you all are future leaders. Okay? People coming out of BNMIT. I was studying, Prabhuji, I have my own cousin who has passed out from BNMIT. And one of my nieces is also studying here. I know the quality of education that you get. You guys are going to be the future leaders. And you have to think like leaders as to how can I change myself and how can I really change the world around us. Right? That's the thought that you need to have. And with that, I'll just dwell into a little bit towards what are the needs that we have. How many of you know about this triangle? Have you seen this? Have you read some personality development books? What is this? Maslow's need hierarchy. Yes, yes. Give him a big round of applause, please. Right? So you guys should read a little bit more on personal development stuff as well. It's not only mechanics, electronics, mathematics, physics. You should go beyond that and read a little bit more on the personal development stuff also. So there are 3 steps here. If you look at the first thing, which talks about basic needs, then the second step talks about psychological needs, and the third step talks about self-fulfillment needs. What do they mean? So the basic need of any human being is what? Food, water, shelter, all these are basic needs. Once a person attains this, he tries for the next level of needs, which is safety needs. He wants to find a good apartment, a good house wherein he is secure. He wants to have a good car wherein he is securely traveling to some places. That's the next level of need that people look at, or humans look at. And the third level of need, once you have crossed these 2 levels, is belongingness. You're looking for intimate relationships, friends, love. This is the third level. You can imagine, right? First you find a job, then you buy a house, then you buy a car, then you get married. This is the same line, that's nothing else, okay? The Fourth thing is that esteem needs. Once you have everything, you have family, you have good house, you have good car, everything is there, you're safe, secure, you have enough money and all, then you look at esteem needs. You want to think, let me do something which can make me feel accomplished. Let me do something by which people start appreciating me. That's what we call it as esteem needs. And the final one is what we call as self-actualization need. And this is where you start asking that question, why? Why am I doing all these things? You start asking these questions. Why did I really struggle to do all these things? Why did I really try to come up from the bottom layer of this pyramid till fourth layer of this pyramid? What is the whole reason? And the beauty is that if you are able to focus on this, you will easily accomplish all this. That somehow Maslow missed to explain. Okay? That is something Indian culture has clearly shown to the world, that you don't have to go this way, right? You don't have to go this way up. You can actually come down from the hill. The moment you start thinking on self-actualization point, you'll automatically get all these things. Right? These are all feelings, right? Having a good house, safe house is a feeling. You never know whether it is safe or not. Having a good, safe car is a feeling. You never know whether it is safe or not. Thinking that I have enough food and water in the world is also a feeling. The moment you start questioning this part, self-actualization, which is a spiritual part of it, you'll get answers for all these things automatically. And the Western philosophy says you go up from here till this point. By the time you reach here, you almost retire. And the Indian philosophy says you come down from top to bottom. You first attack the top portion of this pyramid. Naturally, you'll find everything else. We will understand that more from SuvarnaGaurahari Prabhu, how that works exactly, right? Now let's look at some of the challenges that we have right now in the world. We have big house, but small families. I was talking about all these basic necessities, right? We have big house now, but small families. We have very high IQ, intellectual quotient. We are able to develop artificial intelligence. We are able to develop generative AI. We are able to develop next level quantum computers. But we have less emotions. We have advanced medicine available, but still we have poor health. We have very low immunity. With COVID, so many of us had suffering within our families, around our families, because we lack certain level of immunity in spite of having so much of advancement in medicine. We have very high income nowadays. I don't know how much you guys are expecting once you have some organizations coming in here for say your campus interview and all. Naturally, it is much more than what was there 20 years back. You have very high income, but less peace of mind. We have touched the moon. Now we are touching the Mars also. I read a news 3 days back wherein someone said, there are 2 people who are planning to live in Mars. Now Earth is not enough for them. They want to live on Mars, which is okay. That's up to them. But the point is, we have touched moon and Mars, but we don't know our neighbors, right? We have more degrees and we have very less common sense today. We have enough and more degrees. There are so many online platforms which can give you easily all master degrees nowadays, doctor degrees, because you see a lot of advertisements on YouTube wherein a person is called a doctor. And I don't know how many of you have seen that ad in YouTube wherein in a flight someone is called a doctor, someone is searching for a doctor, he's a doctor in management or something like that. Anyone has seen that advertisement? No, right? Okay, you will see it for sure. The moment you start searching for those topics, YouTube will find that analytics and they will target you for those courses as well. We have so many degrees, but less common sense. We have so much of information and knowledge right now, but we don't know how to really connect that. We lack in wisdom. And today's reality is we have costly watches. How many of you have Apple watches? No one has Apple Watch? I'm surprised. Really? One person has it. See, anyone else? Rado? Okay. What? G-Shock is okay. Okay. Then a lot of costly watches nowadays. Maybe you'll buy it in the next 1 or 2 years or so, possibly. But we don't have time. We're lacking time. So On and all, today's reality is that a lot of humans but less humanity. And that's what we have to tackle now. How do we really build this more within ourselves, within our circles, as well as beyond our own country? How can we really give this to people beyond our country as well? So we might have some questions on what is the purpose of life. How many have had this question any time in your life? Not today, not yesterday, any time in your life. Why am I studying so much? What is the purpose of life, right? Why do I need these subjects? What is the purpose of life? Why am I giving exams? What is the purpose of life? How many of you have this question? All of you, see. Okay. Good, great. Let's have these answers today, okay? What is success? Anyone had this question? What is success? What is the definition of success? Is getting a job in Apple, Google is success? Is that called a success? Or forming Google-like company is success? What is success? How many have heard that question? Or you have, those who don't raise hand means you have answer for this question, right? None of you you're clear on what is success? Not clear. Who is not clear? Just raise your hand. Whoever is not clear, just raise your hand. Okay. There are few people who are not clear on hand. I don't think others, maybe you're not clear on the question, possibly. Okay. Good. How can we get the answers for these questions by understanding human values through ancient Vedic wisdom? That's what we are going to dwell a little bit more into. Okay. If you look at Bhagavad Gita talks about 26 divine qualities that a human being should possess. Now, we don't have time for discussing all those 26. We'll take few of them and then we'll discuss a little bit more detail on that. And I would like to request SuvarnaGaurahari Prabhu to come over a stage and then give those few values to all of you. Right. Yeah.
No, that one. I'm audible? Put it more out. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for giving me this chance to the college management. Once again we are here. How many of you saw me last time? I was here. Yeah. As soon as I got the invitation from the college, I was very happy to, because last time it was a very wonderful interaction. Even the director sir was here. It's very wonderful question answers discussions. It was on the topic managing the mind menace, right? And the timing was matching because today night I'm traveling. For another week I'm not here. So when they gave me the date, I said, yeah, that's fitting because I'm here. I came yesterday morning, I'm leaving today evening. So in between this was fixed. So I'm very grateful. So thank you Ganesh Pai for giving a very wonderful introduction to this topic on universal human values. I remember attending value education classes in my school days. I never attended. It was there in the schedule and generally it was the last class of the day and generally the teacher would be missing or the students would be bunking and they go home early because they felt this is the most boring session. But now the trend is changing. This is the first session of the day and all of you are sitting and attending. And of course, some of you may be attending for attendance, but I think your perspective has changed. How many of you think you are now not attending for attendance? You are attending to know more. Yeah, yes. Yeah, good, thank you. There was a meeting somewhere in Hyderabad where all the top educational leaders had come and they were discussing. See, in schools and colleges, they see that cheating is increasing, copying. And people are bunking classes, and there are also very dangerous habits like drugs peddling happening. I go to many colleges, top colleges also, and one of the major concerns they have is, sir, 25% of students are becoming prey to these bad habits of drugs, alcohol, cigarette, all these things. So what to do? So this group of panelists from different educational institutes are coming and discussing together At the end of the meeting, the conclusion was the first class of the day should be about values. Because if the values are set, then everything else get set. You saw the pyramid, not that pyramid, you saw the values, then on the values there are many other things built, and then emotions are there, and then actions and thinking, responses, all those things are there. So values become the foundation of a life. Just like this building is there, it's standing tall and holding so many of us in this building, just because the foundation is very strong. Right? How many of you have seen the foundation of this building? How deep it is, how thick it is, have you seen? No, it is invisible. Similarly, the values of our life are also generally invisible, but you can see the building. The roots of the tree are invisible, but you can see how tall the tree is, how nice the fruits are. If the tree is tall and strong, if its fruits are sweet, and if it is green, it indicates that the roots are well connected in the ground. It is getting nourishment. But if the tree is weak, the leaves are getting dried up, and the fruits are bitter, it means it's not getting good nourishment. Similarly, a person, if he is exhibiting good culture of compassion, humility, tolerance, friendliness, it means he is connected in the roots. And if a person is exhibiting actions of violence, anger, envy, lust, if this is what his expressions, it means he is not connected deeply to the value system. So today I am going to discuss out of this 26, a very wonderful verse, 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. How many of you read Bhagavad Gita? Okay, couple of them here, 2, 3, 4 here, and one there. Yeah, thank you. So for those who have read Bhagavad Gita, you will relish this, and for those who have not read Bhagavad Gita, it will be beginning for you. Abhayam sattva samshuddhi jnana yoga vyavastitihi danam damascha yajnascha swadhyayastapa arjavam ahimsa satyam akrodhas tyaga shanti rapaishunam daya bhutesh aloluptvam mardvam hrirachapalam tejakshama dhriti shaucham adroho nati manita bhavanti sampadam daivim abhijatasya bharata. Krishna says that these are the 26 Daivi. Daivi means divine qualities, good values. Daivi Sampat. See, Sampat means what? Wealth, right? Sampattu. Sampat means wealth. Actually, the real wealth is possessing these qualities. Now, money, you can get money, but money can go also sometimes. It doesn't stay. Money is always floating. It goes from one hand to another hand. But these values, if you possess these values, that is your real wealth. And you will become a wealthy man, a man of wisdom, and people will look forward to you. So out of these 26, I am going to discuss just 4 pillars of human value system. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is an advanced book of study, Bhagavad Purana. So Bhagavad Gita mentions this 26, but out of that, Bhagavatam takes 4. And it says that these are the 4 pillars of human, or 4 pillars of dharma. Like any table, this table is standing on 4 pillars. And if you break any of the pillar, it loses its balance. So the 4 legs. So Srimad Bhagavatam explains that these are the 4 pillars of dharma. Tapaha, Shaucha, Daya, Satya. Austerity, cleanliness, compassion, and truthfulness. These are the 4 pillars of dharma. It's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 1:17-24. Tapaha saucham daya satyam iti padah krite kritaha adharmam shaistrayo bhagnah smaya sangha madaistava. These are the 4 pillars. And in Satyuga, krite kritaha, in the past, these 4 pillars were strong. And over gradual or period of time, the pillars were broken one by one. Tapaha, Shaucha, Daya, gradually they were broken. And in the modern age, very less of this pillar is remaining. That's why we see so much of negativity around. Corruption, violence, exploitation, molestation, cheating, thievery, wars, all these are on the rise because people are going away from these 4 core principles. Okay. So in next couple of minutes, let's discuss one by one these qualities. In fact, I went through the IKS Universal Human Values syllabus of which is prescribed by AICTE, and I found all those qualities here. This is actually a screenshot from the syllabus book prescribed by AICTE, and exactly all the Bhagavad Gita verses are here. And they also mention Asuri Sampad, Damba, Darpa, Abhimana, Krodha, Paurusha, Ajnana, like this. These are the bad qualities which we should not possess. Pride, arrogance, and they say Abhimana, right? Thinking oneself to be great. Krodha, anger. Parushya means harsh speech. Right? It happens that sometimes if you hear harsh speech from others, you feel hurt. It is said that harsh speech is more sharper than an arrow. Arrow will pierce you once, then after that you can remove it and then put malam and get treated. You can get all right, you'll forget the pain. But sharp words, even after 20 years one will remember. 20 साल पहले तुमने मुझको ऐसे बोला था. People carry that in their heart. So it's parushya. So ajnana, ignorance, not knowing what to do and what not to do. Pravritti, nivritti, jnana. Like this, there are many others. I am not going to get into that. But they are the non-values, that which have no value. We should give up those things and cultivate good values, which are mentioned above. So let's discuss the first one, which is tapaha, austerity. What do you mean by austerity? Can anybody say? What is austerity? Yes, anybody? How do you define austerity? How many of you do austerities? Or have done austerities in the past? Yeah? How many have done fasting? उपवास रखा है? वही austerity है ना? उपवास क्यों रखते हैं? Why do we keep fast? Ekadashi Upas. Why we keep it? Yeah. Elder said. Yeah, किसी ने बोला है आज घर में खाना नहीं पकाएगा. No cooking today, so you have to fast. Shivratri Upas, Shivratri Jagaran, you keep, right? Why you keep it? There is a purpose. See, that's the value you are practicing. Now, these values all of you know. But here we are trying to see how we can practice it in our life, for what purpose. Now, for example, we took up this topic of fasting. Why do we fast? One thing, first of all, it is good for health. It is said that monthly twice, 2 days of fasting is good for your health. It removes all the toxins. It is a nice detox. You just take water and all the body gets detoxified. All the negative things are flushed out. Unwanted things are flushed out, you become fresh and healthy. So that's one reason for austerity. So you accept temporary inconvenience for a better future. Accepting voluntary inconvenience for a better future. That is called austerity. And another reason is, when you reduce your bodily needs, you can focus on higher things. When people used to stop eating, then what is to happen is they will get more time. So in home you don't have to cook, so time is saved in cooking. You don't have to clean, you don't have to wash your vessels. So you get more time for thinking about the purpose of life, the goal of life. That's what was fasting. Upavasa doesn't mean just not eating. Upavasa, vasa means to stay. To stay closer to, it's working. I've turned off. It's control in my hand. So upavasa means to stay closer to God, to stay closer to the purpose of life. That is upavasa. Generally nowadays we understand upavasa means uta madde irodu, not eating. That has become the definition. But upavasa means staying closer to the purpose of human life, coming closer to the purpose of human life. So you get time to think about it. But nowadays life is so busy, we don't have time to think about what is the goal of life, what is the purpose of life. And especially the social media nowadays keeps us very busy, one after another. hours and hours go in social media just screening through a lot of information, isn't it? So we have to take out. Now I will give another modern definition of fasting. Fast from social media for one day. How many of you think it's a good idea? Oh wow, center portion agrees a lot with me. And next is here. And least is here. Thanks. It's a good idea, right? Fasting from social media for a day. It's wonderful. You will get time with yourself. Otherwise, you are just browsing through information which is not necessary. Without tapasya or austerity, no human being can get liberation. We cannot. Like for example, when your studies are there, exams are there, you have to do austerity of studying. Sometimes you have to study extra, night outs, right? How many of you have skipped your dinner or any meal for studying? See, everybody. Or for sports, or you wanted to achieve some goal in your life and you forgot only eating. It happened, right? Like Albert Einstein or APJ Abdul Kalam ji, they were so absorbed in scientific discoveries that they even forgot. Once APJ Abdul Kalam was asked, "Sir, why didn't you get married?" He didn't get married, right? They asked him, "Why didn't you get married?" He said, "I never thought about this. I didn't get time to think about this," he said. Because he's so absorbed in his work that he forgot it. So when you get absorbed at some higher level of thinking, you forget the lower needs. So as our Maslow's hierarchy, Ganesh Pai was telling, when you get absorbed in the top thing, spiritual thing, you can fulfill all other things and you can surpass all other things as well. So without tapasya, you cannot attain the higher liberation. The theory that there is no need of austerity in life, that one can go on speculating and everything will be nice, is recommended neither in the Vedic literature nor in Bhagavad Gita. Without sacrifice, without tapasya, you cannot attain anything higher in life. Right? Sports people, they do tapasya. They get up early in the morning, they run, they jog. Soldiers, how many of you are in NCC? Right? So some boys, some girls. Right? I was also there long ago, from 25 years back. Austerity, right? Early morning you have to come in your uniform, run, jog, get ready. Sometimes they teach you how to shoot. Austerity. You have to practice so that later on you can succeed. So Bhagavad Gita mentions that. So one of the best examples of austerity is Dhruva Maharaj. Right? How many of you heard Dhruva? Dhruva Maharaj, 5-year-old boy who attained Supreme Lord. Yes, some of you have read Bhagavatam, you will understand. So Dhruva was a small boy and he was insulted by his mother. Insult is very painful, right? The small boy, 5-year-old boy, he was insulted by his stepmother. Not his mother, but stepmother. Because this boy wanted to sit on the lap of his father, but stepmother said, "No, you cannot sit. You have to be my son, then only you can sit." So Dhruva Maharaj became very upset. He was a Kshatriya, he was having the king's blood in, so he cannot tolerate insult. He went to his mother, "Mother, I'm very disturbed. Please give me the solution." Mother said, "I don't have a solution for this because I am not as dear to the king as your stepmother." "Then what is the solution?" And she said, "Only Supreme Lord can give solution. You go to him." "Where is he?" So then mother said, "I have heard that the sages find him in the jungles." And Dhruva said, "I'll go to jungle." Now have you ever heard of a 5-year-old boy going to jungle? He goes to jungle, 5-year-old boy. And it said that he does austerities. In between, Narada Muni comes and tells him, "Dhruva, where are you going?" He says, "I'm going to the forest." "Hey, ये छोटा बच्चा, घर चले जाओ, ये खेलने का समय है." Don't go to jungle, there will be wild animals, tigers, lions, they will eat you up. Go back. And Dhruva was very determined. He said, "Guruji, अगर आप मुझे मेरा हेल्प करेंगे तो हेल्प कीजिए, नहीं तो साइड में हट जाइए. I am going to attain my destination." Actually, Narada was testing him. And Narada told, "You pass the test. I am going to make your job easy." He gave him mantra, he gave him the process. And Dhruva Maharaj went to forest and did tapasya. And it is said that he did meditation standing on one leg like this for 6 months. And he was eating, first month he was eating only leaves, next dry leaves. Next month he was drinking only water. And after that he was breathing only air. And after that he stopped breathing. When he stopped breathing, it is said that the universal air stopped flowing. And all the people got disturbed. They all went to Brahmaji. Oh Lord, please help us. So Brahmaji said, only Vishnu is going to help. So they went and prayed to Vishnu. Then Vishnu came. Then Lord Vishnu gave him darshan. And then he got the blessings of Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu touched the head of Dhruv Maharaj with his shankha. And that touch electrified Dhruv Maharaj. And Dhruv became so enlightened. So nothing is easy in this world. One has to go through austerities. Like singers. What is the austerity singers do? Do you know? They avoid certain things. What is that they avoid? Oily food, ice creams, they avoid. Because if they spoil their throat, they cannot sing. Like singers like Lata Mangeshkar and all, just avoid these things so that they can save their throat. Right? So in this way, every field has got austerity. Like students, you have to study. You have to regulate your life. That is an austerity. Regulated life is also an austerity. Doing things on time. How many of you make your daily schedule? You have daily planner, weekly planner. 1, very great, very nice. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, give applause for them. Because they are planning what to do today. After going back home, what I am going to do? What is my schedule for next 3 days? I make my plan for months. I know what I am going to do for next 1 month. Where I am, where I will be, what is my program. I know that. And some are free slots. If some program comes, I add it there. If you are not planning, then you are planning to fail. If you are not planning, then you are planning to fail. And it may happen that if you plan nicely, you may not achieve it, or you may not be able to stick to it, but at least 70%, 80% you will succeed. So that's why planning is also very important. So that's an austerity. We have to. Now, this is a very, how many of you rise early before 5 a.m.? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wonderful. 8, 9. Good. Clap for them. They are already doing this. Okay, for them it may not be austerity, it may be natural, but for others it will be austerity. Isn't it? There is a famous proverb which is considered as eternal truth. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and you can put woman also, makes a woman healthy, wealthy, and wise. Rising early has many benefits. The early morning atmosphere remains calm, quiet, and the air free from pollutants. An early riser can begin his daily work early and finish it early. Early risers have ample time for work. An early riser can hear the sweet songs of the birds. Right? How many of you see sunrise every day? Oh, every day, sunrise. Oh, very few. That's a wonderful chance. Can see the blooming flowers and can see the beauty of the rising sun. Rising early contributes in keeping your body fit and leading a healthy and happy life. Everyone should acquire the habit of rising early from childhood. So I took it from the internet, and this is a habit which everybody should practice. We have heard about it. I wake up every day at 4 a.m. and I have been following this for last more than 20 years. And it's very natural for me now, and it's become very natural. And if I get up at 5 o'clock, I feel I'm very late. I have lost my 1 hour. And I get up early, then I get more time. Some people get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. I interact with some hostel students. I ask him, what time you get up? Sir, 8 o'clock. Achha, what time is your college? 8:30, sir. How do you manage? Just wash my face, brush my teeth, put some perfume. So I'm ready, sir. Right? That is not values, right? So we have to follow values, and to follow values you need time. Okay. So do you know billionaires get up at what time? Billionaires get up at what time? Let's watch a video. Audio ಬರ್ತದೆ?
it's good, it's good.
Well, they know how their brain works, and they take advantage of their brainwave states and brain chemistry. The brain produces electrical patterns, often referred to as waves. When you're first awake, your brain operates at around 10.5 waves per second. The range from 8 to 13 hertz, or cycles per second, is the alpha stage. It's been called the gateway to the subconscious mind. But when you wake up this early, you are between theta and alpha. The mind is capable of deep and profound learning, being fully aware and focused with an effortlessly calm mind. In other words, you don't have to work as hard. You are not thinking. Just relax into the moment. Another important fact known by all successful people is when you wake up, your subconscious mind is most impressionable and soaks up information like a sponge. Whatever you hear, see, or are exposed to in the first 20 minutes will affect you and set the tone for the rest of your day. This is why they meditate, listen to affirmations, and not checking their social media and emails so early. They choose consciously their tone of the day, being focused and positive and not being distracted. They choose to go to bed early and use the premature hours of each day in their own advantage. They make up a routine of waking up before the sun starts to shine and go to sleep after the sun goes down. Why do they go to bed so early? Between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is where you can get the most from regenerative and deep sleep. After 2 a.m., sleep lacks the quality that you need as it becomes more superficial, chronically depriving your body of the regenerative sleep which you can enjoy between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. makes you wake up in the morning even more tired than when you went to bed. The human body is closely linked to the day and night cycle. That is why, within 1 or 2 hours after sunset, your melatonin levels start to rise. This is how your body's telling you that it's time to go to bed. At midnight, melatonin levels reach their highest value, and after this, they start decreasing gradually. 10 p.m. is when your body reacts as a result of the increment in the melatonin levels. This period of transformation in your sleep cycle brings along a more intense metabolic activity. This one is responsible for the repair and restoration of the whole body. In order for this 10 p.m. reaction to take place, your body needs to slow down, which translates into reduction of your mental and physical activity. If you're still awake, there is a phenomenon that takes place at this hour called second wind. This is caused by the rise in mental activity and energy that your system has at 10 p.m. Nevertheless, you can only feel what the second wind's value is truly about if you are asleep at 10 p.m. Studies show that if you go past the 10 p.m. bedtime, you'll find it more difficult to fall asleep. Also, you won't be able to enjoy refreshing sleep, which will lead to significant weariness in the morning. Small things matter, so even the simple shift in your bedtime hour from 11 p.m. to 10 p.m. can make a huge difference regarding the quality of your sleep. Moreover, there are high chances that you'll wake up in the morning feeling energized and ready to start the day. This happens because you allow your system to go through its natural neurochemistry and you take advantage of this wave that is on its way before 10 p.m. Moreover, your body also benefits from the metabolic changes that naturally take place as the clock ticks 10 p.m. If you are among those that usually fall asleep well past 10 p.m., you should consider changing the situation. Set up a goal to go to bed earlier by 15 to 30 minutes each week until you hit 10 p.m. bedtime goal. Early risers like Apple CEO Tim Cook, Oprah Winfrey, and Dwayne Johnson choose to greet the day at the crack of dawn because that's where motivation is created, and they don't need to ask for it. That silence of early morning hours is what helps them use their potential to the maximum. Successful people choose to use every minute available in a day because their life's purpose is higher than any other short-term pleasure or comfortable bed mattress. They instill this habit of waking up early in their DNA because they understand how a strong and consistent routine can support a successful life. The human brain can work at its maximum potential when it doesn't have to multitask. The quality level of work is highly dependent on the level of focus. When there are no distractions and noises to disturb concentration, the brain has a great capacity to focus on certain tasks and thus generate a balanced rate between quality and work. Successful people are aware of this, and they use their alone time in the early morning to take full advantage of their brain's functioning capacity. High achievers understand that premature hours of the day allow them to make better decisions as their energy levels are at their peak. Those who live a grand life understand that early morning willpower helps them to achieve high levels of discipline. A disciplined morning guides them towards a whole day of discipline, and this is exactly what supports their successful life. The peaceful and quiet time you get before the sun rises creates the environment you need in order to take care of yourself, which doesn't happen too often during the day. It's the me time that allows you to provide yourself with everything you need in order to successfully go through the day. As soon as the alarm goes off, you're facing a bump in the road, and it's up to you to get over it or not. It's up to you to decide whether you use your time in your advantage or...
Hare Krishna. It's an interesting video. So billionaires, not billionaires, billionaires have this practice of rising early in the morning at 4 a.m. and they do pranayam, they do breathing, they do yoga, and then they meditate, and then they plan for their business. Because for planning, you need a peaceful mind, and early morning is the best time, right? Even spiritualists, we all get up in the morning at 4 a.m. So if you want to be successful, what you should try to do? Try to cultivate this habit. For this, you need to sleep early. By 10 p.m., we should be asleep. So that is the challenge. So if you are able to hit the bed at 10 p.m., then you will be able to get up at 4 a.m. And I get up in the morning, I do my morning duties, taking bath and everything, then we chant. And ISKCON temples, all temples you will find many people coming and chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We repeatedly chant this mantra several times, and that further purifies the mind. And all negativity is gone. You get surcharged, you get the grace of the Lord. Then you are ready to do the activities of the day. So that's one austerity. Second point is compassion, daya or mercy, right? So what is compassion? Understanding or pity for somebody who is suffering, right? When you see somebody suffering, like when I travel, I'm in stations and all, I meet some beggars. They're saying, "Sir, please give something." And those are genuine in need. When you give something, feel great satisfaction. There is a joy of giving. On birthdays, we have a joy of taking. Kisne kya gift laya mere liye? We get joy. I'm getting more and more. But when you give, that gives more joy than getting. So giving, the joy of giving. Like recently I was traveling and I went to Agumbe 2 days back. There was a whole heavy rain. And I just took, Agumbe bus stop, I stopped. I took my lunch in the bus itself and some rotis were remaining. I found what to do with this now. There are no beggars there, but I saw one cow. It was a bull actually. I was standing in the rain under a shed and looking here and there. I took that rotis and went and gave it to that bull. I didn't throw it, I just took it to the mouth and then it licked and took it. I felt so happy. And I turned around and many people are watching me. What he is doing. And one bus driver said, "Thank you sir, vade kelsa marta idera." That act of compassion not only gives joy to you, but also to the onlookers, right? Like in the history we hear how Ashokavardhana king, he had a war with the Kalingas, massacre. It was a huge massacre. Actually, Ashoka wanted to conquer and expand his kingdom. A huge massacre. On his side and other side, both parties, a lot of damage. And in between this damage, he saw one monk carrying some water and finding those who are alive and giving some water to them. And looking at this, Ashoka cried. He cried for what he had done. Should not have done this war, such a massacre. He cried and said, "Here is a genuine person." And he became his follower. And he accepted the path of non-violence, the path of compassion. So the act of compassion have a ripple effect. It affects others also. If you do one good, it affects others. Similarly, if you do one bad act, it affects others all around. So think positive and do positive things. I see here, nurse taking care of a patient, act of compassion. Right? Helping a beggar, act of compassion. He who feeds a hungry animal feeds his own soul. Charlie Chaplin. Whatever you do, it comes back to you. If you show love to others, you will attract the love of others. If you be a good friend of others, you will have good friends. That's the law of nature. Whatever goes around, comes around. Whatever you do, it comes back to you. So if you want to have love in you, and show love to others, show compassion to others. Kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Anybody can understand this language of kindness. You don't need any grammar to understand this, right? Compassion for animals is intimately associated with goodness of character. And it may be confidently asserted that he who is cruel to animals cannot be a good man. Arthur Schopenhauer, he is a famous philosopher. He is studying. See, generally we have concept of kindness is be kind to humans. But that limits only to the human species, right? Kindness should be expanded to all the species of life, not just to humans. That's why there are organizations like PETA, 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 where they are showing, they claiming that everybody should show compassion even to the animals. There should not be any cruelty towards animals as well. And Ganesh was mentioning about his incident of being in Germany and talking about vegetarianism. Yes, many people in America and the Western world are converting to vegans. Not just vegetarian, but they are becoming vegans. It's quite extreme vegetarianism, right? So that's what they are turning to, because they are understanding and realizing the effect of cruelty and violence. Eating violent food invokes violence in you, because whatever you eat, that's what you become. So when you show compassion to other animals, right, you also get that compassion and love and satisfaction in the heart. But even causes harm to others and causes distress to others, one also feels that distress. It is said that those who eat animal products, they are more prone to heart attacks, more prone to cancer, more prone to acts of violence and anger. But those who eat vegetarian food, they are more kind by nature, more compassionate, more gentle, humble. So these are the qualities which they have researched. See, there is a story of a hunter. His name is Mrugari. Mruga means animals. Mrugari means enemy of the animals, a killer of the animals. And he was a hunter, but he had special hunting skill. What is that? He will not kill the animal, he will wound the animals. And he will delight in seeing the animals suffering. Like he will hit the birds and animals, monkeys, and birds will be flapping their wings and crying and shouting, and he will feel happy. Para dukkha sukhi. Para dukkha sukhi. Seeing others in distress he enjoys. But actually gentleman is para dukkha dukhi. When he sees others suffering, his heart suffers. He feels that pain. That's called empathy. Feeling others' pain is called empathy. And feeling others' pain, he wants to do something good to others. So at that time, the great sage Narada comes there and he says, Mrugari, what are you doing? I am killing animals, he says. But why are you half killing them? Kill them full. Mrugari became shocked. Babaji, Sadhuji, hey, you should be non-violent. Why are you telling me to kill full? Then Narada says, see, the sufferings you will experience are proportionate to sufferings you give to others. So you are killing these people, animals, half killing them, they are suffering. All that suffering is going back, come to you. And Narada has powers to show Doordarshan. So in the sky he shows the future of Mrugari. How all these animals which he is killing or injuring, They are all coming and tearing his stomach, eating his intestine. He got scared. Narada, this is what is going to happen to me? Yes, this is what is going to happen to you. जिसको आपने मारा है, वो सब आपको आके खाएगा. अच्छा, what is the solution? I don't want to suffer like this. So Narada says, first break your bow. अच्छा, पर ये तो मेरा सहारा है. This is my food. No, break it. I will take care of everything. अच्छा, ठीक है. He broke the bow. Then what? And Narada said, actually you should go back home, keep a tulsi pot, in front of a tulsi pot you sit and chant the names of Lord. अच्छा, बस इतना ही करना है, काम नहीं करना है. Narada says, don't worry, just do, follow what I am telling you, everything will be okay. He goes back home, sits in front of Tulsi and starts chanting, and he calls his wife also. They both start chanting, worshipping God, doing Tulsi Pradakshina, leading pure vegetarian life. Then all the way, villagers, they got surprised. अरे मृगारी भक्त बन गया है. Mrugari has become a gentleman. So then all the villagers, they said, hey, he has become a gentleman, let's give charity to him. Somebody brought bag of rice, somebody brought bag of seeds, oil, milk, ghee, and the whole home got filled with so many items. Then Mrugari thought, Guruji ne jo bola tha, wo sach nikla. Whatever Guruji had told, it became true. And not only that, in the future, Narad Muni came with his friend Parvata Muni to meet Mrugari. At that time, Mrugari saw Gurus coming and he went to offer namaskar. That is tradition. When we see sages, we offer namaskar. When he was bowing down, he saw some ants in the mud. He stopped. He took his cloth and then moved all the ants. Then he offered obeisances. And Narada said, see, such a transformation. A person who was so cruelly killing animals, injuring animals, now you see he can't even injure a ant. So this is the transformation from arrogance to humility, from cruelty to compassion. This is a nice story. At any rate, when there is an ample food supply for humanity, persons who are desiring to make advancement in spiritual realization should not commit violence to animals. There is abundance of grains. Government is giving free. Abundance of rains, abundance of grains, there is fruits, there is so many other things we can eat, milk. So when abundance is there, why should we cause harm to others? Because it's not a blanket, you are free to eat whatever you want to, but you can think about this concept and try to reduce. If you are eating daily, make it once in a week, or reduce it further, so that you cause less harm to others. And if you can live a full vegetarian life, that's best. This is how we can practice this value of compassion. Like World Vegetarian Day, live and let live should be the motto of our life. So we can eat grains, vegetables, fruits, legumes, unlimited. God has given unlimited for us. We are what we eat. Yeah. You have a question? Okay. We have time for question and answers as well after this presentation. Okay, this is also Parikshit Maharaj. He saw this one person called Kali. He was beating a bull and a cow. Parikshit, this 5,000 years back, Parikshit, who is Parikshit? Yes, your name? That's why I saw some disturbance here. You know who is Parikshit? Yes? Whose son? Yes. She is telling here, he is son of Abhimanyu. Who is Abhimanyu? Arjuna. So, Arjuna heard Bhagavad Gita from Krishna. So, Arjuna's son is Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu's son is Parikshit. Very great leaders they are. So, when he saw in Parikshit's kingdom, it was so non-violent that nobody was harming any animals. All the cows and bulls were nicely protected. And this fellow, Kali, he came and he started beating cows and bulls. Parikshit said, how come you are beating in my kingdom? Immediately took his sword and wanted to kill him. But Kali surrendered to Parikshit Maharaj. He said, please, I am also your praja, leave me, I will not do it again. So then Parikshit said, okay, let go. So, of course, there is a long story to that, I will not get into that because of lack of time. So let's go to the third quality, truthfulness. The fact of being true. Speaking the facts, that is truthfulness. That's basic definition. And all of you know this quality. No need to explain much. Only thing you have to practice it. Right? This word means that one should not distort the truth for some personal interest. There's another higher level of truthfulness. Like sometimes we distort the truth. In business it happens. They make some product and they say, this is the best product. ऐसा product आपको कहीं नहीं मिलेगा. And they say as if this is the only thing, and they sell the products, and after using you realize, oh, it is a flop. So we should not tell lies. Right? Like once I was traveling in train, garam vada pav, that person came. So then another person sitting next to me, he purchased garam vada pav. Then took, and this person gave 20 rupees, and he went. The vendor, he went, and after 5 minutes he opened his packet and he opened that vada. It was like lines coming in that, and smelled it. It was horrible. It was yesterday's vada pav, already getting spoiled. उसी को गर्म करके उसको दे दिया था. Is it not cheating? You may earn some money, quick money with cheating, but in the long run, your name will get spoiled. And there was two hotels. One hotel was giving fresh food. They were using pure items, pure ghee, and very good items. Anything spoiled, they will discard it. And he was making some 10% profit. But there is another hotel which was making almost 60% profit. Because even kalka idli bhi garam karke de do, garam idli. And people were coming to that hotel and eating a lot, and then finally one person somehow got the clue. This is not today's idli. So it is smelling. It is yesterday's. Then he told all the people, and all the people stopped coming to that hotel. And to such a degree that that hotel had to be shut down. And all their customers came to this hotel who was giving good service. So Satyam eva jayate. Ultimately what prevails is truth. Those who are truthful, they will survive. They will win. And those who are not truthful, for some time they may be successful, but eventually they will be failures. So another meaning is, the Shastra speaks something, Bhagavad Gita says something, and taking Bhagavad Gita's words, telling whatever I like, my interpretation, that is also distorting the truth. We should tell the scriptures as it is, without any modification, without any adding something or subtracting something. So that is also maintaining the truth. Being honest. Honesty means what? You know, but I want you to express it. What is honesty? Yeah? What is honesty? Very close, huh? Yeah? Okay, integrity. Integrity. What is integrity? I wanted to tell in words. Integrity means this.
Being true even when nobody is around.
Wow, very good definition. Please clap for it. Okay, I'll repeat. Being true even when nobody is around you. What you do when nobody is watching you? Are you still following the values? That is integrity. Generally in public, it is very good to be nice. Yes, I am very truthful, very humble. I am following all the principles, values, especially in front of elders. Everybody shows they are very nice. In front of teachers, in front of everybody, they are very nice. But behind, when nobody is watching them, what do they do? What do they hear? What do they speak? What do they watch? So all this shows their integrity. Actually, this is one principle. She brought out this point of integrity. It is said that this one principle, if you follow in your life, integrity, you can be successful. A person with integrity will attract trust of others. Person with integrity will keep friends. They will not leave him. A person who lacks integrity, he will lose friends. A person who lacks integrity, he will lose trust. He will lose contracts. He will lose actually his worth. Everything will be lost. If you follow integrity, you will be successful. Integrity also means walking your talk. Some people talk बड़ा बड़ा भाषण देते हैं मगर खुद की ज़िंदगी में फॉलो नहीं करते. Integrity means a person who follows what he speaks. Once there was a sage, and one mother came with a child to that sage, and then mother said, Guruji, my son eats lot of sweets. Please tell him to stop eating sweets. And Guruji said, can you come after 1 week? So after 1 week, the mother came again with the child. Guruji, please tell, in this 1 week also he ate lot of sweets. Already his 2 teeth are broken. I am telling so much, he is not listening. You tell, then he will listen. And Guruji looked at the son and said, Beta, please don't eat sweets. It's not good for you. He told like that. Then mother was surprised. Mother said, Guruji, this you could have told 1 week back also, right? Why are you telling it? Why did you delay for 1 week? Then Guruji said, actually I also used to take sweet every day, one time. Like payasam they offer to the Lord, I take some prasad every day. So I am taking sweet every day. How can I tell him to stop eating sweet? So this last 1 week I followed. I followed it in my life. And now I am telling him. And that will carry weight. Otherwise this boy will see me eating sweets tomorrow. Then he will say, Guruji khate humko, bolte mat khao. So will such a word have effect? No. When you hear from a person who follows, you will have faith. But if you know a person is not following and is bluffing, you will not have any faith in him. You will not follow him. Right? You will not like to hear from him also. Right? So that is integrity. That's the integrity here. So integrity connects others like trust, honesty, ethics, conduct. It binds all other good qualities. So integrity is number 1 quality which you should try to follow in your life. Walk your talk. Even if you have made a mistake, don't worry, admit the mistake. Admitting the mistake is also a strength. Hiding the mistake is weakness. Hiding a mistake is one's weakness because he is trying to hide his false ego. Disease is inside but he is not showing the disease. Like go to the doctor and doctor asks, sir, what is your problem? Koi problem nahi hai, sir. Because he is shy to hide his private problem. So he is not exposing himself to the doctor. Because he is not telling to the doctor, he will not get the medicine. Similarly, if mistakes happen, open up to honest seniors, well-wishers. They will give you guidance on how to overcome it. Right? Next is cleanliness, the last quality. What is cleanliness? There are 2 aspects, internal and external. Internal cleanliness is freedom from unwanted drives like lust, anger, greed. That's internal, antaranga shuddhi. And there is bahiranga shuddhi, the surroundings and the nature. Cleaning the surroundings. Like this hall, very neat, very clean. You feel very peaceful, mind becomes very composed here. Imagine if garbage is littered all around. Will you be comfortable staying here? No. Right? How many of you have your study table very neat and clean? Neat and clean? Okay, very good. Your locker, all the clothes neatly folded, all the things kept at their place, some of you. Very good. Sometimes it happens that when you are starting for the college, everything you have packed up and you are not finding your pen. And you waste 10 minutes finding your pen. It happens sometimes. Or bike key. Bike key kahan rakha tha maine kal? It means the lack of organization. Clean also means being organized. Organize your table, organize your bag, organize your things. Right? So these people are cleaning home. Right? At least once in a week, nicely clean your table, your lockers, and once in a month do thorough cleaning of your room, including the cobwebs, and floor, the windows, everything. And that's called sattvic environment. So environment should be sattvic, and then heart also will be clean. The heart, actually it is said that Lord resides in the heart. But if the heart is unclean, Lord doesn't like to stay there. But if the heart is clean, then Lord likes to stay there in the heart. And what are the contaminations in the heart? There are 6. Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya. These are the 6 anarthas in the heart, and heart should be cleaned of this. Now you can clean the room with broom, with towel, you can clean it. Now, how do we clean the heart? What is the solution for cleaning the heart? Will Harpic work? Or Dettol will work? Yes, what is the solution to clean the heart? Yes, who would like to say? Yeah? She was telling something. Could not hear you. What is the item by which you can clean the heart? So, alcohol kills you, not cleans you. So, actually for cleaning the heart there is something called as mantra. Mantra, man means mind. Tra means trayate, that which cleans. Mantras clean the heart. So all of you know different mantras. There is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Narayana, or Hare Krishna mantra is there. Any mantra you start chanting, the heart becomes clean. Okay, that is internal cleanliness. Okay, now I have ended the presentation. There are some questions for you. Kindly look at these questions. Okay, these are all case studies. I want you to choose the right answer. There are 5 options here. Are you ready? Assume, it is an assumption, some of your friends, and maybe you also, have been found to have some bad habits like watching dirty movies, illicit pictures, smoking, drinking occasionally. What will you do? Okay. Assume, I don't think everybody does it, but in case somebody is doing, or you know others who are doing. Option 1. I think life is meant for enjoyment. Why should we call all these things bad? Whatever feels good, just do it. अल्कोहल पीने का मन करता है पी लो, सिगरेट पीने का मन करता है पी लो. सिगरेट पैकेट पे लिखा है स्मोकिंग किल्स. अरे किसने जाना, मेरे दादाजी भी पीते थे, मरे नहीं. I will not, nothing will happen to me. I will take, so just do it. Okay. How many agree for this? Okay. Okay. Nobody. Or people are shy. Second option. I feel these things are okay, but should not be done too much. कभी कभी चलता है, हफ्ते में एक बार चलता है, हफ्ते में एक बार. Be honest. Be honest. Okay. 4-5. भी हाँ, ओके ठीक है. कभी कभी डर्टी मूवी देख लिया तो चलता है, पोर्नोग्राफी देख लिया तो चलता है. इट्स पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ, लाइक दैट ही सेज. ओके, थर्ड ऑप्शन. आई फील इट इज़ नॉट द राइट एज टू डू दिस थिंग्स. लेटर इन आवर कॉलेज और जॉब, इन कॉलेज मे बी इन जॉब आई कैन डू दिस. जॉब में पैसा आएगा देन आई कैन डू दिस. एनी हैंड्स फॉर दिस? अभी नहीं करूँगा, बाद में करूँगा. ओके, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. नेक्स्ट. These are bad. Even if I have it, I don't want to continue with these bad things. Please raise hands. These are bad. Even if I have it, I don't want to continue with this. Okay? Okay, very good. Very good. I see many hands for this. Many hands. Okay. Next option. Okay. No one should do these things. We should lead pure life based on the principles given by God. Rise of hands for this, please. How many of you feel option 5? How many of you feel option 4 and 5? Okay, so many are raising the hands for this. But I see some people abstaining from raising hands. I don't know which party they are here, which option they are for. But I am happy to see that many are opting for D and E. And the next question. You read in newspaper, gang rape, politicians corrupt, looted crores, pollution everywhere, government tortures citizens, policemen themselves are criminals. What is going on in your mind? Okay, here are 5 points. Why to read such things? I will read sports cinema page and be happy. Okay. How many yes for this? Okay, 1. Okay, wait, couple of them, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll read other things in the newspaper. Second, these things are not happening to me. I can't do anything about it. किसी को हो गया, मेरे को तो नहीं हुआ ना. ನನಗೇನು ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. Be happy. Okay, how many of you raise? 1. Okay, 2, 3. किसी और को हो रहा है, मेरे साथ होगा नहीं. It will never happen with me. Be happy. Next. I am not a bad person. I will not do any bad. Others I cannot change. At least I will not do any of these things, but others I cannot change. How many of you raise hand for this? Okay, a good majority now. Next. I am upset by such things. Society should be changed. Today's world urgently needs morality and good principles. Okay, a good majority for this also. Next. I am upset by such things. These things happen because people are not religious. They have stopped practicing religion and become corrupt. Religion means values. These values of 4 values which we discussed. I will follow my religion and teach to others also. Oh. Raise of hands. Okay, a handful of you, option 5. Okay, thank you. These questions are just to make you think. Okay, not one is the right answer. It can be multiple, but the best answer you can try to choose. Next one. What if you get 100 crore? What will you do if you get 100 crore? Now let's check the value system. Option 1. I will live in a huge palace, drive best of the cars, and eat finest food and enjoy. Please raise your hands. Okay. You have your dreams fulfilled. I will relax because now I don't need to work hard. I'll not go to job. Okay, many. Trimurti there. Okay, some people here. Okay. I will start a business and multiply the money I got. I want 500 crores. Okay, good majority here. Okay, paisa to aa gaya. But what will you do with that? You get 500 crores, then what? You want 5,000. Then what? I will use the money efficiently and also do some social service like opening hospitals, etc., or giving donation. Many are not raising hands. What will you do? 500 crores if you get? Yes, you only. What will you do if you get 500 crores? After that, you get 5,000 crores then? Then what will you do with 5,000 crores? Then what? After you die, what will happen to the 5,000 crores? Huh? Coming generation will use it. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the response. Actually, people don't value how much money you have. People don't remember how much money you had. People remember how you use that money to help others. Like you see, many rich people, they're having charitable hospitals, they're having social service activities. People remember what you did with your money to others. And money is because after we die, see, there was a father and he had his 2 sons, Chintu Pintu. Father left 100 crores and Chintu Pintu fought and they killed each other and died. And government took the money. It happened, right? I'm changing the names, but real facts which happened. Newspaper mein padha hoga aapne. Isn't it? So, earn with integrity, spend with compassion. My Guru Maharaj says, earn with integrity and spend with compassion. So I end this program with this quotation. And if you have any queries, you can contact us. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. Questions you can.
Yeah, for 5 minutes we can take some questions. We had planned to kind of have a bit more time, but I hope you all learned a lot for sure. Yeah, if we have mics around, maybe you can take 1 or 2 questions, and then if you have more, then we're always reachable on these numbers or mails. You can raise your hand if you have any questions. So you have to take back something for sure. If everything is answered in the sessions, perfect. If not, then raise your questions. We'll try to answer that from best of our knowledge.
In the beginning, you had asked them to. In the beginning, you had asked them to.
Yeah, right. So just Sonal was reminding me. At the start, you have actually, conveyed a question to your neighbor or who is sitting next to you as to one question that I want to take back, or one answer that I want to take back for a question that is on top of my mind. Is it answered? Just raise your question if it is answered. You can raise it a little bit high also so that others will also realize, okay, yeah.
Okay.
The rest all didn't have a question at all, or is it that it's not answered? How many of you, that question is not answered? Let me ask another way. For how many of you that question wasn't answered? Whatever question is on top of your mind is not answered yet. Okay. Okay, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
My pranams to both of you, and it was a very great session being here. My question is, how do anyone understand what's the purpose of their life? It's a very long process, and it should start somewhere, right? So how do we start looking for the purpose of life?
Okay. So that's a very deep and very long discussion oriented question, ma'am, but then I can certainly answer it in a crisp way. So all of us are here for some reason. All of us are placed in this world in some or the other form for some reason. Do you agree that? Right? Even if we have a lot of aspirations, we are driven in certain ways in our lives, and we normally see that whatever we aspire to do and whatever we end up doing is something different. So that means we are driven in some or the other way. Purpose is something which you can't realize in a day's time. It is an evolutionary process where actually the moment you start practicing certain value systems which are given in our ancient Vedic tradition, it evolves. And you get to realize, and in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna also says, Dadam Buddhi Yogam Tam. That means I give you intelligence when you follow this process. And you get the intelligence and you realize by yourself, out of the environment around, out of the skills that you gain, out of the talents that you have, you get to realize where do you fit, what are you supposed to do. And all the great personalities, it's not that someone has come and told them that this is your purpose and you have to do this. And even if so, they have realized it by themselves. It's just that their gurus or their friends or their family members would have ignited that thought in them. And at a certain point of time, when they were following this process, they realized from within that this is my purpose. And that's an evolutionary process that comes when you actually practice these values over a period of time. And that's what is the beauty of our Indian culture, that you don't get to know them all of a sudden in 1 or 2 days. It's the kind of, you can imagine as, it's like a kind of ladder, wherein you can only see the next step. You don't see the destination of that ladder. But as you keep climbing, you keep seeing the next step. At a certain point of time, you realize where is it heading. And that's what is the realization point. And there you realize that I have a purpose and I know why I'm here for. That can happen in the age of 20, that can happen in the age of 40, that can happen in the age of 70. You don't know. It depends on the kind of progress that we make. It depends on various other factors and so on. Do you want to add something?
Yeah, just adding to that. One question I had. Are there many goals we have, or everybody has only one goal? How many of you think there are different goals for different people? Please raise your hands. Okay. How many of you think there is only one goal for everybody? Okay, yes, what is that goal? Achieving humanity. Okay, thank you. Please sit down. Okay, what is your goal of life? To do whatever makes me happy. So, goal is what? Happy. Okay. What is your goal? What will you get after success?
That's what I think happiness.
Happiness. Okay. What is, yeah, you with the green, yeah, saffron. What is your goal? What is your goal of life?
To achieve something.
Okay, achieve something. After achieving, what will you feel? Happy. Okay, happiness. Red shirt? Happiness. So, what is the goal of life? Happiness. Only thing we are trying to do different activities to get that happiness. Okay, somebody wants to be successful, they want to have fame, that makes them happy. Somebody wants to have money, that makes him happy. Somebody wants a good career, that makes him happy. Good spouse, that makes you happy. Ultimately, you are looking for happiness. So, the Maslow's hierarchy, roti kapda makan, makes you happy. Then you want security, that makes you happy. Then you want what? Then you want, what is the next one? You want achievements, that makes you happy. Then you want relationships, that makes you happy. Ultimately, ultimate happiness is you want happiness that comes with self-realization. The happiness of self-realization and God realization. So that's what we are looking for, only one thing. In different ways, people are looking for the same one thing, which is happiness. So Vedanta Sutra very clearly defines Anandamayo Bhyasat. In one line summarizes the whole thing. We are all looking for Ananda, happiness. So that's the goal of life. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Can we have another round of applause? Very good session. With that, we have come to the end of the session. Before we conclude, I now request Shri S.G. Haridas to collect a small token of appreciation from BNM Institute of Technology. I also request the physics lecturer to gain the start on stage.
Thank you.
I also request the other speaker for today, Mr. Ganesh Pai, to also collect a small token of gratitude from the Institute of Technology. I kindly request Shri Vikal sir to also come on to the stage. Sir, please.
Yeah.
I also request a small token of appreciation. Sir. With that, it's my humble duty to thank the speakers of today, to SuvarnaGaurahari, so thank you for a wonderful speech, and thank you for the introduction to Mr. Ganesh Pai. Thank you, sir. I also thank the organizers of this event and all the HOD staff, and of course, my dear students, thank you for attending this session of Universal Human Values. The time is 11:15. We request you to get to your classes according to your timetables at 11:45 after a short break. Thank you. Have a nice time. Have a nice day. See you all.